and now they're getting ready to go after people's pension funds. Are they trying to push the American people into some type of armed revolt?
I believe they're trying to destroy the middle class.
Absolutely, and why?
Because we're the only country that's ever really had one. That's always been the American dream, is that you can rise from poverty in this country and you can become a millionaire. Well, that dream is vanishing quickly. There is not going to be a middle class in about 15 years, I don't believe. There will just be rich and poor, and therefore we will be like every other country around the globe. And maybe, Alex, it's being done to globalize Mexico, Canada, and us. Absolutely.
North American Union. That way people are so poor they can't ever resist the ruling class.
Well,
here's that Bloomberg article.
They got to bring us down to Mexico's level.
Oh, exactly. That's what the globalists say. In fact, there's a clip we have of Obama where he says, in this new world order, no nation can be above another. But that doesn't mean raise the third world. In the globalist documents, they want to lower everybody.
Yeah, no, they would rather lower us down to the third world level.
Unbelievable.
As opposed to raising up the third world to our level.
Let's read this Bloomberg headline for folks that are doubting me. Failed banks may get pension fund backing as FDIC seeks cash. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is trying to encourage public retirement funds that control more than $2 trillion to buy all or part of failed lenders' assets, taking on a more direct role in propping up banking systems. And it talks about how the regulators are ordering them to do it. Since when do regulators order private and public pension funds to be invested in the failed banks?
And since when would you, with a clear conscience, want to invest in a failed bank?
Well, the government says, Jesse, they want to grab your 401k and give it to the bankers.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex, I don't know. Maybe they do want an on-the-street revolution. I don't know.
Well, I know they've been setting up for it and infiltrating. I know they infiltrated these militias and set them up to create the illusion that there's about to be all this domestic terror. And I believe they're getting ready to stage terror attacks, Governor, to blame it on the American people, to use Northcom against the American people.
So that what, they can empower themselves into a martial law type situation?
I know they've been making preparations for 2 decades in earnest, starting with Oliver North, and I know I've never seen such a build-up towards it.
Okay. Well, it's something we all got to be aware of, without a doubt. But, there's still us, all the masses out there, and we're still very powerful. The only thing is we have to learn to use our power.
Well, you've got a powerful voice as a political icon, an independent, a former governor. What would you say to the American people if we see some terror attacks, they're blamed on the American people, and they start trying to use these different enemy combatant acts, belligerent acts, to start grabbing U.S. citizens?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is this. I think we need to put huge pressure on the Obama administration to rescind the Patriot Act.
Yes.
I think that would be the great starting point for people to start marching and demanding that the Patriot Act be abolished. Because the Patriot Act is the thing that's taking away our freedoms. It's taking away habeas corpus, where they can arrest you, simply say you committed a terrorist act. You can't get a lawyer. They can hold you without a trial. And people in this country better wake up, because what they're doing to them guys at Guantanamo, down at Gitmo, they could do to you.
Well, that's what the belligerent act states that John McCain's introduced and Lindsey Graham's supporting. It says for any intelligence reason or any direction of the president, citizens can be grabbed and given enhanced interrogation and never be seen again. I'm not kidding. I even had Judge Napolitano.
McCain?
Absolutely.
John McCain is supporting something like that?
Guys, print the belligerent act. I want to read Governor Ventura the actual passage. Yes, sir, and I had Judge Napolitano on, who's a former federal judge.
Sure.
And he pointed out, it says that the fact that you've been grabbed is a secret unless the House and Senate Intelligence Committee vote to allow it to be known you've even been grabbed.
Really? Well, then let me say this on your show, Alex. I will never disappear by my own choice.
Good point.
So I've said it now on your show, so everybody knows that if Jesse Ventura suddenly disappears, they'll know that I wouldn't do that. other than to go surfing in Mexico, and you know that I'll come back every spring.
Well, I tell you, that brings me to the next question. I mean, as things heat up, as you become even more prominent, if that's possible, but you certainly are, and as people's respect for you goes even higher, we need to take good care of you. So watch out, there aren't some frogmen out there when you're surfing that try to make you disappear. Be careful. I hope you're strapping a sidearm or at least a spear gun when you're out there.
Nah, I've always been a pretty good swimmer, Alex, and I can take care of myself in the water. And I truly don't believe any of my SEAL teammates would do that to me.
No, I don't think they wouldn't either. You know what?
I don't believe that would happen. And so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And no, it's just a case again where we've got to keep talking. When that lady that sent you that thing, I have sympathy for her son who's over there fighting because it's our fault. People need to understand this also. We can end all these wars by bringing the draft back. And I used to be on the abolish the draft movement after Vietnam. But now I realize that the professional military is a mistake. Because the problem is this. When you get a professional military like we have, we, the public, are then not vigilant. We need to be vigilant to never send those young men and women into harm's way unless it is absolutely essential.
Well, now we've got a mercenary army. I think we should ban that first. And then
I agree totally. You got to get rid of these mercenaries. You got to get rid of Blackwater. You got to get rid of all of them groups because there's actually more mercenaries in Iraq today than there are soldiers.
Well, I've talked to Anthony Schaefer, Special Forces Colonel Commander, and he talked about how the CIA wouldn't let him kill bin Laden 2 weeks before 9/11. And he said that was being done because they already had contractors in the CIA with more power than the Army and the Navy, and that they basically are above the law and can do whatever they want.
Well,
so,
in Prouty's book, you'll find out the CIA runs our military. Our military is used to back up whatever the CIA is getting involved with.
Well, that's what Colonel Schaefer says, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Prouty says it too.
Well, he might be good to interview, Anthony Schaefer. He's on Fox and MSNBC and CNN, all of them. Let me read this to you just so it's on record. In fact, here's the bill right here racing through the Senate right now. Dissenters to be detained as enemy belligerents. The full bill can be read here. A person is considered a high-value detainee if they fulfill one of the following criteria. And it says, number 3, potential intelligence value. Number 5, such other matters as the president considers appropriate. And it says the Enemy Belligerent Interrogation, Detention, and Prosecution Act of 2010. And it says they can secretly grab you, put a bag over your head, and then they can use enhanced interrogation, which is torture. I mean, what's your take on...
Alex, torture you to do what?
I guess to say you're guilty.
Well, I don't know. Okay, let's say hypothetically they grabbed me. What would they torture me to find out?
That's the whole point. They only torture for terror and to get false confessions.
Okay, so I'd have to confess to something then, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was interested in. Why on earth would they pick someone and then torture them for what purpose?
Well, now, if we ever have another big war and people torture our troops, how can we say it's wrong?
We can't. We haven't been able to do that since Abu Ghraib and Gitmo. We can't, let me throw this out for your listeners to understand this too, Alex. We, the United States, and let me reiterate, my father's a World War II vet, my mother's a World War II vet, my brother and I are both Vietnam vets. I say that because of what I'm going to tell you now. We in the United States have been practicing terrorism for 50 years. We just call it foreign policy.
Yes.
Because we've been terrorizing Cuba. We've attempted to kill Castro on multiple occasions. We've ruined their cane fields. We've attempted to destroy their economy. And now, do you know about this character, Orlando Bosch?
Tell folks about it.
Well, Orlando Bosch was a guy who blew up a civilian Cuban airliner.
For the CIA and got protected.
No, there were 73 people on board. Now, is that not an act of terrorism?
It is.
Well, Bush Sr. pardoned him.
Yes.
This guy that blew up a plane with 73 people on it.
In fact,
we need to realize